Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a massive paradigm shift about what it genuinely means to lead. If you've ever felt like your team is just kind of going through the motions, or if you've sensed that really frustrating disconnect between the authority you hold on paper and the actual influence you have in the room, well, this Explainer is absolutely for you. We are going to completely deconstruct those old traditional ideas of management, and we'll be looking at a much more effective, human-centric way to build a truly high-performing team.
If your employees are afraid to tell you they screwed up, you aren't a leader. You're just a person with a title. Wow, let's just sit with that for a second. Seriously, think about your own team, or even a team you've been on in the past. When someone makes a mistake, and look, they always do, because we're all human, right? What is their immediate instinct? Is it to run straight to you so you can help fix it? Or is it to hide it, sweep it under the rug, and just pray you never find out? It's a pretty startling reframe, but it hits the nail on the head. Because if fear is the main dynamic in your working relationship, then your authority doesn't actually come from respect or trust. It comes entirely from an arbitrary title on an organizational chart. And honestly, relying on that title is a profoundly fragile way to operate.
So how do we actually fix that? Well, the directive is pretty blunt. Stop being the boss. Now, the boss here isn't just a noun. We're talking about an outdated, totally ineffective mindset. Being the boss means you're relying completely on command and control. You expect compliance just because you said so. But in today's complex work environments, leaning on your job title is actually a massive barrier to real leadership. When you act like the boss, you literally build a wall between yourself and the people doing the heavy lifting. You stop being a resource for them, and you just become this obstacle they have to navigate around. Sure, you might get compliance in the short term, but you completely crush the innovation, the trust, and the psychological safety that actually drive long-term success.
There is a massive, absolutely crucial difference between being in charge and taking care of those in your charge. Being in charge, that's an ego-driven mindset. It's all about hoarding power, barking orders, and making sure everyone in the room knows who calls the shots. Taking care of your people, on the other hand, is this beautiful, enlightened pivot. It's a subtle shift in wording, sure, but a monumental change in everyday practice. When your focus shifts from guarding your own authority to actively removing roadblocks for your team, supporting their growth, and just ensuring they have exactly what they need to succeed, well, that is when true leadership actually begins. You're no longer just managing tasks, you're stewarding people. You are looking out for them. And the funny thing is, when you focus on taking care of your people, they naturally take care of the work, and the results absolutely follow.
We formalize this whole enlightened approach through something called a caring structure. By definition, it's a leadership dynamic where boundaries and accountability are delivered with genuine empathy. I really love this concept because, people often make the mistake of thinking that taking care of your team means being overly soft or lowering standards or just letting people get away with whatever they want. But let's be real, that's not leadership, that's just avoiding conflict. A caring structure requires both sides of the equation. It means holding people to a very high standard, but doing so from a place of deep respect and understanding. It means when someone drops the ball, you hold them accountable, for sure, but your tone isn't, "How could you do this?" Instead, it's, "Okay, what happened here, and how do we fix this together?"
Now, here's a surprising reality that kind of flips the script. Employees actually crave boundaries. We tend to think people just want total freedom, right? A completely hands-off environment. But a complete free-for-all is actually deeply anxiety-inducing. It's like trying to play a game where nobody knows the rules. If people don't know what success looks like or where the guardrails are, they end up spending all their mental energy just second-guessing themselves. By establishing a caring structure, you provide ultimate clarity. Boundaries essentially tell your team, hey, here is the playing field, and here is exactly what out of bounds looks like. When they know where those lines are, they finally feel safe enough to take risks, innovate, and perform at their absolute best within that space. Accountability, when it's clear and predictable, is actually profoundly comforting.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is how we put this into practice every single day. Let's walk through 3 actionable steps to actually build the structure. Step 1, stop being the boss. You've got to check your ego at the door. Remind yourself daily that your job isn't to be the smartest person in the room. Your job is to create an environment where your team can thrive. Step 2, establish boundaries and accountability. Be crystal clear here. Let me give you some clear boundary examples. It's about explicitly saying things like, we do not send weekend emails unless the server is literally on fire. Or, hey, if you're going to miss a deadline, you must communicate it at least 24 hours in advance. Take the guesswork out of it. Don't make them guess what you want. And step 3, deliver those boundaries with genuine empathy. This is the glue that holds the whole shebang together. When you enforce those guardrails, do it while recognizing the human being sitting across from you. Ask questions, listen actively, and show that you genuinely care about their success, not just their output.
I want to leave you with this one question to really chew on today.
Are you building a caring structure? Or are you just holding a title? Think about it. If your title was magically stripped away tomorrow, would your team still follow you? Would they still come to you with their mistakes? Would they still trust your guidance? True leadership is an action. It's not a position. It's the daily, intentional work of setting clear expectations, holding people accountable, and doing it all with an unwavering sense of empathy for the people in your charge. Take a really hard look at your team dynamics this week and ask yourself what kind of structure you are actually building. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to start applying these actionable steps today.